Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is January the 11th, 2018. Strong hand. That's all I got to say because, hey, it was pretty crazy yesterday, wasn't it? But I had a strong hand and I stayed up late last night. I made one show yesterday. You can check that out. I will link to it below. I haven't had time to link to it below because I just woke up. It's 6:30 in the morning in Los Angeles. But I had to get in a show today. So you'd all, I said I'd be back. It's super duper late on, no, it's not night anymore. It's early in the morning. That's how late at night it is. All right. So here's your second show. So real quick, I'm just going to read off my notes because I literally just got out of the bed, but I got to give you guys the goods. I'm your anti-FUD solution because there's all sorts of FUD coming out of the Asian continent, isn't there? First off, April 13th, the 15th, I'm going to be back in St. Louis. I'll probably be in St. Louis maybe a little before then, a little after that. Also, I just want to tell all my St. Louis people, Washington University in the house. April 13th and 15th, we'll talk about more about that later. Also, last night before I fell asleep, I booked a flight to Taipei, Taiwan. So I'm going to Taiwan on Wednesday. So you can hang out with me in Asia starting on Wednesday. So I gotta get close to all this FUD. I mean, I already saw the Korean FUD. I don't know what's going on in Taiwan in terms of Bitcoin, but get in touch with me if you're in Taiwan. I'll be there very soon. And get in touch with me if you're in St. Louis. Get in touch with me here in South Africa. I'll be there on March 7th. And I did talk to Lorian and everything's set up. Okay, I'm going to be in San Francisco on Monday. And speaking of San Francisco, we're going to talk about that event in a second. But a guy out there who's involved with realtors said almost no one in the audience of over 250, mostly realtors, own any crypto. He was at a realtor event, and they were talking about cryptocurrency. Everyone I knew who I asked said they did not own any very early in the game. Okay, I mean, that is very early in the game. As you think of all the realtors on this planet, San Francisco ones would be the most familiar with cryptocurrency because that is the technology, Silicon Valley right below there is a technology hub of the world, basically. And if you had to pick, there's a lot of crypto startups there. There's a lot of crypto people there. Vinny Langham's out there. And so if they don't own any yet, and there are some wealthy San Francisco realtors. I mean, it's early in the game. There will be a way this guy. I mean, I got to stay very vague because this person didn't tell me I could even say what he told me. So I'm paraphrasing everything. But there will be interest. There will be people using cryptos out in San Francisco, up in San Francisco, because I'm in LA right now. For real estate soon enough. And that's exciting because they're going to be guys who have a lot of cryptocurrency they need that are going to want to spend it in 2020 on houses in San Francisco. You'll probably be able to buy a house in San Francisco for one Bitcoin in 2020. Who knows? All right. So yeah, so I'm speaking in Los Angeles. Century City Meetup is tomorrow, is Friday. I linked to the specific event below. Okay, click on that link to fully understand what you have to know and what you have to do to get there. It's 6 p.m. on Friday. I'm speaking at the end. Anders is an awesome dude, and he's promoting. He's got to retweet it out there. Tweet it out there again, man. I will retweet it. But this is everyone's reminder in Southern California. Come on out, but check out the link below. I made sure I got that link up there this morning. I'm going to have to put some other links up, like Daniel, the 21 million guy down in Mexico who works for himself now. I'm so proud. He's in motion. He took my advice. He became an entrepreneur because of Bitcoin. And he's in Mexico where it's a low cost of living. Well, anyway, I'm going to link to his Steam It page where you can upvote him. I upvoted him. I retweet him. I mean, I re-steam him. He's got, and if you need help with Bitcoin, he has a consultancy. It's at the 21 million club. At the 21 million club. I will link to that below once I get done with this. I'm at Bitcoin Meister on Steemit, and that has been wild. Over 2,000 people following me there now. Pound that like button if you're up early this morning, or if you're in Europe. I see some European faces over in the chat. If anybody wants to do the super chat, I'll answer your questions. Who is that over there? Yes for motivation. I can see his yes. He's awesome. He's in England. And who else is in there? Cryptocurrency edutainment. Yeah, dude, he rocks. Both those guys have been on my show before. Pound that like button. Speaking of This Week in Bitcoin show, which both of them have been on before, and you should check out their channels. This coming up in a few hours, we're having a real early This Week in Bitcoin. It will be 6:30 p.m. in Melbourne, Australia. It will still be 11:30 at night on Thursday night in Los Angeles. It will be 2:30 in the morning in New York City. So just very soon, 2:30 in the morning in New York City, and 7:30 a.m. in London Friday morning. So just tune in here. You play repeat if you didn't hear this. By the way, some people think these shows take too long. Yeah, they probably do, but you can speed up how fast these go. People say they speed up the whole thing. So I guess you hear me talking really super fast and it sounds like I'm on crack. And for all you people who love to bring up drugs and stuff and say, Adam must be on drugs. Well, then you can really pretend I'm on drugs if you speed this up to 2 times the sound, because it'll sound crazy. But no, I'm a health nut, obviously. I just have a lot of energy. When hey man, I can just wake up at 6:30 in the morning and be on fire like this. But the reason we have weird times is Martin Davidson from the Melbourne Blockchain Center will be joining us. BTC Sessions, Benny, he's going to be joining us from Calgary, Canada. And I want to visit Calgary this spring when it's warmer. I would never go now. It's like horribly cold there. Sorry, Benny, man. It's cold. I don't know how you Canadians do it. Renegade Investor will be coming in from London. So we really have an all-star crew for This Week in Bitcoin. Renegade Investor, Martin Davidson, and Benny of BTC Sessions. Those are great guys from all over the world. So we had to pick a weird time. So it will be 11:30 at night on Thursday, which is today in Los Angeles, but it will be Friday, 2:30 in the morning in back home in Baltimore and New York and Washington, D.C. And again, 7:30 in the morning in London, 6:30 p.m. in Melbourne, Australia. What's up, my Australians? Love ya. I'm not going to be able to visit you this, well, who knows? It'll be later in 2018, not early. Who knows? Here's a guy who has, and we're going to get to the Korea and China stuff. I know you guys want to hear about that. I just ordered this weird. This is how when I write the show, it all comes from my mind, okay? So I take notes throughout the day, and this is the order I wrote everything down in yesterday or last night. So you're getting it raw here. A guy out there in California, I think he's in Southern California, he announced he just opened his 12th Bitcoin ATM. I think maybe they're all in California. The reason I bring it up is because he just was very proud that he sells Litecoin at his Bitcoin ATM. Also, he's easy coin access. Easy, I'll link to him below eventually. Easy coin access on Twitter. He seems like an okay dude, and I don't know him at all, but I saw the retweet, so cool. Speaking of Twitter, Andy Hoffman, CryptoGoldCentral.com, he's got a big Twitter storm out there again about Brhodium again. And how it's in people's best interest, if you're a holder of Bitcoin, to want Brhodium to do as well as possible, and he's proud of it. He's proud of it. Now he's got big dreams for Brhodium, big predictions and hopes and dreams. We all have hopes and dreams for Bitcoin, and we'll get into crypto dividends and what they really mean in a second. But Andy's doing his thing, and he's making some big predictions. I stay very conservative, and hey, my poll is done, and it's an equal amount of people who think it will be below a hundredth of a Bitcoin, which is what, like $13 now, and people who think it'll be 1%. Excuse me, a thousandth of a Bitcoin, which is around $13 now, or a hundredth of a Bitcoin, which is 1%. They think it'll be over, which is over $150. So there's a lot of people think it'll be over 150. A lot of people who think it'll be below 15. Now I'll be happy with 15 or 13, whatever it is. I mean, it's all free is free to me, and I want these guys to do well. They do have the best English customer service out there in terms of crypto dividends. Andy pointed that out. He points out a lot of things, but who knows? He's very, very bullish on it, to say the least. Oh, so also with the poll, more people though think it will be over $13 than under $13. Okay, so that's a big thing. And well, you know, what people think is what they think. What they do is what they do. Andy thinks he looked at some numbers and he calculated that a lot of the people who got in right away are bigger holders of Bitcoin and are more likely to hold the Brhodium. And it's good to hold the Brhodium for its price. Hey, I'm not saying to do that. And again, it's too late. You cannot get it now for free anymore, just the way the airdrop works. So if you want to buy it, it'll be on exchanges soon, I guess. But I don't tell people to buy anything. You buy Bitcoin because you get these crypto dividends. You have to be proactive. You just can't sit there. You have to understand what the airdrops. And I mentioned this in yesterday's show, or the day for the other day. You have to stay in touch with my show, Andy's show. I also mentioned 21 million above. And the reason one of the reasons I linked to him above is because he is talking about Brhodium also. So it's not just Andy and Adam now. It's 21 million down in Mexico, 21 million club, and he's awesome. So yeah, you got to stay in touch with good shows like this, so you know you got to do something to get this thing, and time expires. I didn't know time was going to expire as fast as it did because the demand for Brhodium was bigger than I anticipated. So for free Brhodium. Okay, so it's all cyclical. I have this written down. I've said this so many times. If you're in this game long enough, you see it all happen over and over again. Before everything went down with South Korea yesterday, Bcash pumped to 20% of a Bitcoin again, as I predicted. And it was based on the Coinbase guy, the owner, and I'll link to this story. I didn't link it to it yet. We paused trading on Bcash US dollar book due to significant volatility caused by heavy market buy demand that resulted in insufficient liquidity. Now, who knows if that's true, but what he just said, and what he said was that so many people wanted Bcash. It was so popular, people wanted to buy it. Not that they were trying to dump it or whatever, that so many people were trying to buy it. That was the reason we shut down Coinbase the day we debuted Bcash suddenly. Now, who knows? I don't. They say a lot of things over there at Coinbase, but the point is when he start talking about that news, that's when the price pumped yesterday. Okay, and then everyone jumped on the bandwagon. Oh, Bcash. Oh, it's going wild, and it did go wild. I mean, I still have some left. I was trying to send some to exchange to dump it. I was like, what's going on here? Again, it's 20% because I don't store my coins on exchange. I don't store my Bcash there because it is worth a lot. I don't want to, lose it if the exchange goes down. And remember, control your own private key. Pound that like button, people. Pound it. Pound it. That was what yesterday's crypto dividend show was about when I was talking about Xenon. But anyway, yeah, and so then once everything went crazy yesterday with South Korea, it dumped again down to 18% of a Bitcoin. But it'll happen again. It'll go up to 20% again. There are entities out there that are huge, powerful, wealthy, and people listen to them and they pump Persuasive, King of the Trolls. They pump Bcash, and that's their business if they want to do that. That is just the way. That's the world we're living in. That Bcash is a top tier altcoin because it is a crypto dividend of Bitcoin. It was not a friendly fork. It tries to pretend to be Bitcoin, which is not good. But there are some good people behind it. There's some bad people behind it. And look, you hear Los Angeles sirens outside. That's typical Los Angeles. You gotta love it, man. Los Angeles has a vibe to it that no other city does. No other city does. There's an energy out there, and you can get freaked out by it too. I don't get freaked out about it, but the drug addicts here are like one of a kind. The insane people out on the streets, one of a kind in Southern California. And that's not a good vibe, but it adds to the overall vibe of just LA is just, man, LA is LA. That's all you can say. Just like Bitcoin is Bitcoin. There's something about it. It's the one. LA isn't the one. LA is the freak show, but it makes you want to stay more sometimes, the vibe. It makes you want to stay a little. I like Southern California. I really like Southern California. And anyway, I just went off on a tangent here. But yeah, Bcash will be pumped again. Yeah, fast forward through that, people. Double speed, triple speed that. Like you're a meth head out there. Pound that like button. Oh man. So yeah, I mean, I like this Airbnb, but if you're not a city person, and I am used to Baltimore, okay? If you're not a city person, you're going to get, when you hear some of the stuff out there that sometimes happens, I mean, you're going to get freaked. Oh man, the women bums. Oh God, it's sad stuff, man. So yeah, Bcash will pump again. They've got people behind it. And that's good. That's just part of the ecosystem. We have to get used to that. And we're going to end just like we are used to Bitcoin going down by $2,500 in some days, like it did yesterday. And that was because of South Korea. Okay. That's because people overreacted to South Korea because so many people are new, or maybe they're just speculators out there who know they can do this, who know that they can panic. They can sell for high when this happens, and they know they can buy it back for low because everyone panics whenever it used to be whenever China made an announcement. When a freaking government makes an announcement, we're supposed to be, in this community is supposed to be, we're not supposed to care about governments. But yet so many in the 80% freak out when a government makes an announcement related to Bitcoin. So South Korea says they're gonna crack down on the exchanges. They're gonna shut down the exchanges because it's gambling. So everyone sells. It dropped close to $3,000 in one day. Who knows? I didn't even care. I knew right away. I'm like, this must be China. Well, it wasn't China. It was South Korea. Because now South Korea is the new China. I've been through this before, people. You have to have a strong hand. We're gonna go through it again. There are gonna be days when Bitcoin drops by 2,500. I'm a broken record here. All this stuff I have said before. So if you I hope you didn't freak out yesterday, but it dropped down to $12,000. And then now it's back up into 13,000s again. It will recover all the way. Every time it has dropped, it has recovered. But again, we've been through this with China. Just like we have been through the Bcash pumps again before. People are going to, Korea is a big player in all this. But who cares? It's one country. I was there and it was awesome. And they are awesome. If it disappeared off the, if all the crypto people disappeared and couldn't trade, some of them would find a way, but it wouldn't make a difference. Everyone else would pick up the slack. Japan is tremendous. But guess what? Japan's government will make an announcement one day like this. I'm sure something like this, and you all are going to panic again, and you're going to see the same thing happen again. But guys like me are going to have strong hands. We're going to keep collecting our crypto dividends, and we're just going to laugh. We're going to laugh all the way to the bank because we've been laughing all the way to the bank. Bcash will pump again. We know it's not going to become the Bitcoin. In fact, some of us still have our Bcash, and we'll be laughing when we get, 20% on our Bcash again, or maybe 25%. Yeah, it might go up that high. So again, this is all cyclical. We've been through this again. It's deja vu all over again. And altcoin pumps are going to continue. There's going to be altcoin flavor of the months over and over and over again. And you're all going to keep, some people in the 80% are going to keep coming to me saying, oh, Adam, what do you think of this one? What do you think of Tron? What do you think of that? And I'm just going to say, it's the latest flavor of the week. It's the latest flavor of the month. Watch my other videos to hear what I think about these things. They come and go. And they all get pumped eventually. So have a strong hand, people. And I will link to the Korea story below in a second once I get done the video. Again, not all the links are there. But yeah, just it's no big deal. I think that the bigger issue is that people keep falling for it. The media keeps picking up on the stories. The media loves to blow these stories out of the proportions. And then people fall for it in our community. And maybe they're just on, when I say our community, the cryptocurrency community is huge. It's mostly 80%ers. It's mostly people who don't fully understand, who don't take the time to watch shows like mine, who are just watching, or they either watch the mainstream media or they hear rumors. They think Ripple's the big thing. They watch the horrible channels, pump channels, and so they end up making the mistakes. They, again, learn how to send a Bitcoin before you buy a Litecoin. Because if you learn how to send a Bitcoin, if you learn what the 2020 halving is, you're not going to be fudded out by these events that keep happening over and over again, and you're going to understand why Bitcoin is the king and why you buy and hold, why you buy and you just don't panic. And hey, I mean, that's the deal. That's what's going on right now. And I can't wait to talk about crypto dividends on a Friday in Los Angeles at Century City, link below, and then San Francisco on Monday. And we'll talk about that in a second. Oh yeah, the other thing I want to mention. When all the cryptocurrencies went down yesterday, all of them went down. Bitcoin went down by the least, basically, because people during the panic, people try to get their dollars out, okay? But if the second thing they do is they go to safety in Bitcoin. And this is just a preview of what will happen when one day one of these countries or some entity is going to make an announcement that is very bearish for altcoins, but not for Bitcoin. Maybe South Korea will say, we're making all altcoins under $10 illegal. Well, what's going to happen then? A lot of people are going to fly right into Bitcoin. The Bitcoin price will pump. Just like, and yesterday it was, obviously you didn't notice it because Bitcoin went down by a lot also, but people did flow into Bitcoin during their irrational panics. Although that was great, they got out of some of those altcoins. It's not irrational to get into Bitcoin, but it is irrational to panic when a country makes it, because they have no power. The country of South Korea, the genie is out of the bottle, people. No country can stop cryptocurrency. No country can stop Bitcoin. They're fools. The government bureaucrats are the last ones to understand this. I'm talking about how the realtors in San Francisco don't fully understand it yet. Don't worry, they will grasp it a lot more better than the bureaucrats at the freaking MBA, because all the people, if you work for the government right now, please quit your job. Just stop taking money from me, okay? Please, I'm serious. I'm really serious. And I know it was easy money, but if you're and that's sad. It was easy stealing my money. But again, if you're watching this, you are an independent thinker on some level. If you're into Bitcoin, you cannot be part of that horrible entity, the bureaucracy that it produces nothing. And look at the FUD. Look at the FUD it creates. That's a negative thing. That's again another takeaway. But it produces nothing. Nothing. It's just a big MBA. People just collecting checks. And again, it'll be great when these people can't get their pensions anymore, because they should know better. They should never have banked on this thing. Okay, you shouldn't bank your future on a freaking immoral entity that just takes and takes and takes. So don't work for it now. This is your first step. If you're owning a Bitcoin, become an entrepreneur. It's so great. Like 21 million, like me, like so many guys. Andy Hoffman works for himself. Everybody works. Please don't work for the government. Seriously, that's my health tip of the day. Because you look at those ladies at the MBA, they don't look too healthy. That's because they do not. They sit on their tuchluses all day. You like that Yiddish little reference there. Anyway, pound that like button. I could throw in some Yiddish language. I don't know Yiddish. There's a few. It gets passed down. We shouldn't speak Yiddish anymore, because in the Jewish homeland of Israel, we speak Hebrew. That is the language of the Jews. Yiddish was the language of the galut, of our exile, and the exile is over. The exile, praise Hashem, the exile is over. So we do not speak that messed up version of German anymore, because that's what Yiddish is. It's a weird version. It's a ghetto version of German. And yet the Satmar in Brooklyn, the Satmar Hasidim, I don't even call them Hasidim. The Satmar still speak Yiddish. And I have the Satmar, there's a lot of people who don't like us who use the Satmar as examples. They're not, that's what they believe, with the Satmar dressing up like it's 1840 in Williamsburg, okay? I'm sure there's some very nice people. Politically, though, they are clueless. They do not understand. They do not, that the exile is over. The exile is over. And the land of Israel they should all go. They have 10 kids in Brooklyn? No, that's not good. Have 10 kids in Israel, and you know where you should be. You don't speak Yiddish, speak Hebrew, speak English. Anyway, but again, we Jews, we do all love each other. We deep down, I love them. I do love the Satmar, but they are, and I just want, whatever, that's your political thing of the day. And again, don't follow politics. Don't follow, that's religious. That's a religious thing right there. And the Jews in Israel who are watching this now, that's for you, I guess, because I love you. I love that you are the best. If you have moved to Israel, that is what all Jews should move to Israel. I should move to Israel. And I am going against, I'm still in exile. I am still in the exile. And it's comfortable here in the United States, but don't be the Satmar in Williamsburg, though. The Satmar, Chabad is the truth. If you want to follow a Hasidim, the Chabad down in 770 Eastern Parkway, and they're in Los Angeles too. They're everywhere. Chabad. All right, going back to Bitcoin. I should have said maybe that's the end of the Bitcoin part of this show. And I'll visit Israel soon enough. Hopefully in the spring. Hopefully in the spring. God, I forgot San Francisco. I forgot to give all the info. I'll give the San Francisco info in a second. Anyway, the Xenon show was yesterday. Go down, check that out. And it's just a reminder that a crypto dividend is the financial incentive to make sure you keep your Bitcoin and Ethereum, in that case, off of exchanges. There's a financial incentive because you're not getting the crypto dividend. You're not getting you're not getting the Ethereum crypto dividends if you keep your Ethereum on these exchanges. I will tell you that. I mean, no one even knows about the Xenon thing. Yet it's paying. If you control your own private key, you're getting it. You're getting it. So again, that was the lesson from yesterday, and I'm going to talk about that in my speeches. That crypto dividends are the financial incentive to keep your money, to keep your coins off exchanges. All right, the United States of Bitcoin analogy that I have brought up before in terms of cryptocurrency. Wow, I should have left my religious thing for the end there because some people probably turned it. No, we got more viewers than we did before. Pound that like button. Don't doubt yourself, Adam Meister. No, I'm a very proud Jewish guy, so I'm going to talk about it when I want to talk about it. But I mean, I think there's a certain flow to the show. Anyway, this is very important. There are people out there that say Bitcoin is the crypto dividends are an attack. Okay, there are people that I respect who even say that it's an attack on Bitcoin. Crypto. Come on, guys. Go back to my United States of Bitcoin analogy. They want to be part of the bigger ecosystem. B Gold just wanted to be a state in the United States of Bitcoin. So Brhodium also, they're not trying to take over Bitcoin. Not at all. They want Bitcoin to do better because they do better. They're part of the union. Each one's a little different. Each one's a little, there's one that's like Hawaii. There's one that's like Montana. You can make all sorts of comparisons, okay? They're not trying to take over the federal Bitcoin government, okay? They just want to be a state in the United States of Bitcoin, and they're united. Now, Bcash is like it's an enemy. That's good. That's not a friendly fork, okay? But the friendly forks, the analogy we use there is the United States of Bitcoin. They all just want to be. They're not hurting it. Hardly anyone's heard of them. And when they do heard of them, they just hear the name Bitcoin again. And Bitcoin brand becomes stronger. The more you repeat the name, the more people know about it who associate it with cryptocurrency. So they're just, again, a reminder that cryptocurrency is Bitcoin in some people's mind. That's all they are. And so to say they're an attack, these people are not, the people behind them do not want to hurt Bitcoin. They are just jumping on the Bitcoin train. Now, and then there's the ones I mentioned that just want to they're not even forks of Bitcoin and they're naming themselves Bitcoin. What was that one I mentioned? The spread coin one. There's going to be Bitcoin spread or B spread from spread coin. And I haven't heard anything more about that lately. But again, it just shows you the power of the name. That's not even part of the United States of Bitcoin. I guess that's just like a territory or something because it's not a fork of Bitcoin. They're just jumping on the Bitcoin name. Is that an attack on Bitcoin because some minor 6-tier altcoin is renaming itself Bitcoin through a fork by making a crypto dividend out of this stuff? It's not an attack on Bitcoin. No one's going to get confused because no one's even heard of it. Only insiders are going to benefit from these friendly forks or for things like that. That's not even a friendly fork. I don't know what the heck that is. But only people who get themselves educated on what Bitcoin really is, on what's really going on behind the scenes on Bitcoin, and watching shows like this, we're all going to benefit by understanding what these interest payments are. They're interest payments. They're crypto dividends, one-time dividends. Okay? And that is what they are, crypto dividends. I'm speaking about it in freaking San Francisco. I'll call it what I wish. And everyone calls it that now. I started it on this channel. Just like Bitcoin really isn't a coin, people call it a coin. That's the way it is. And I know there's just there's a mentality among some people that are in the 80%, they got to hate on everything. So again, there are some people who aren't in the 80% who think it's an attack on Bitcoin. But then there's some people who just, it's like, a lot of the people who are saying it's an attack on Bitcoin. Oh, these crypto dividends are so bad for Bitcoin. How can you call them crypto dividends? They don't own a darn Bitcoin. It's just a way for them to try to FUD Bitcoin. They're weak attempts to FUD Bitcoin. Which again, why don't they just move the South Korea and just become a bureaucrat, a Baltimore-style bureaucrat in South Korea? Yeah, there we go. I didn't mean to say Baltimore, but yeah, just become a bureaucrat. If you want to be a true FUDster of Bitcoin, just work for the South Korean government and make insane, mindless pronouncements, because you're making a mindless pronouncement. So much of this is mindless pronouncements that you guys say. So someone over here, what was an example of Richard Salko, super chat, Adam, will we get B private at SegWit addresses? I hold my Bitcoin in a SegWit address. Bitcoin without SegWit is not Bitcoin. The protocol is with SegWit, even though it just soft forks. So this is the thing. I tell everyone to check out the B private Twitter and to check out the B. And thank you very much, Richard Salko, for the $10. I tell everyone to check out the B private Reddit and their Twitter, okay? And so it is not exactly clear what day they're going to fork on and exactly what Bitcoin addresses will be rewarded. Now, again, if you own the Z Classic, remember, they're a fork of Z Classic first. All right, so everyone holding Z Classic is going to get their Bitcoin, is going to get their B private. Now, Richard brings up an interesting fact. Rhett is not the biggest fan of SegWit. Rhett and his friends and his associates are the one who are programming or setting up this fork. And he says it is very difficult to add SegWit. He said at one point he wasn't going to add SegWit. So that means that if you have your Bitcoin at a SegWit address, you're not going to get this be private. That's what it meant at first. But then people are going back and forth. And sometimes you see in the description, it is going to have SegWit. So this is part of this thing that is not, that's why you have to watch shows like this, okay? First of all, we don't even know the snapshot date yet. So if they do not fork, if you have your Bitcoin at a SegWit address and you're not going to get B private, I'm going to tell you about it. I don't think that's a good move on their part. I understand it from the basis is if it's too much work for them to do. If he's got a team, a small team, and they can't do it, then they can't do it. That I understand, okay? If they do it because they don't like SegWit, then I don't like that. No, I don't like that. That's not cool to not, because you don't like SegWit, we're not going to reward the people who own SegWit, have their Bitcoin at SegWit addresses, which is the smart thing to do. If you have your Bitcoin at SegWit addresses, you can send it cheaply if you need to send it. So use your SegWit addresses, people. Use them. Yeah, if they don't want to, again, it's better than some people had proposed that it be a fork of Z Classic and a fork of Bcash. Well, that would be disastrous. Most people are like, are you out of your mind? So it could be that bad, but it isn't going to be that bad. That was a proposal too. So you can say, well, if they don't give the Bitcoin SegWit addresses, it's a compromise between giving it to all Bitcoin holders and giving it to all Bcash holders. And in a way it is, but let's see how this plays out, okay? So keep watching. We have time. And it is, no one has brought this up on air yet because not many people are following it very closely like I am. But I'm glad you brought it up. I didn't want to FUD, it's going to add to more confusion here. Again, they haven't even announced the date of the snapshot. It might not be until late January. It might not be in February. I want them to take their time over there. So this is the best crypto dividend possible. So it's worth it. So don't rush. We're going to hear what exchanges. We're going to hear if Trezor does it. We're going to hear if they leave out the SegWit people, and we'll be able to move accordingly. You'll be able to plan accordingly. This isn't just going to pop up one day. It is going to pop up one day if you follow 80% channels. If you follow that stuff and want to know how to buy Tron, then you're not going to know what to do with B private. It's just the bottom line. It's just the bottom line. If you're into all these channels and listening to mainstream media and getting obsessed with Hillary Clinton and Oprah, if you thought that Oprah thing wasn't completely contrived and ridiculous, then you're not gonna follow my channel. You're not gonna know that what's gonna happen on the Z Classic B private front. All right, so thank you very much for the $10. That was an interesting unplanned rant, and I hope everybody likes that. Okay, and again, if you have questions about, hey, are they really not going to do SegWit? Don't ask me. Again, I am not the one who decides this. They are very responsible on Reddit and Twitter. You can talk to Rhett, and Rhett has even said it is what the community wants. It's what the Z Classic community wants. Okay, I'm not part of the Z Classic community. I mean, I'm following. I'm paying attention. It's what they want. Do they want to be involved with Bitcoin, with the SegWit addresses, or don't they? And what kind of work can he? If you want to work on his team and you can do this, help him with the SegWit stuff, then yeah, they'll do SegWit, I'm sure. And if the community is saying, because it's, the more Bitcoin holders that get this thing, the better. I will say that. If all Bitcoin holders, no matter what address you keep your Bitcoin at, should be private, it will be better for the price. If you're watching this, that's my opinion on this. Okay, dude. Okay. Hey, and the funny thing is, well, I'm not even going to bring this up. If they also gave it to Bcash people, it would almost be this unifying thing. But no, then they would have to make 42 million of it. It would inflate it way too much. But you never know. In terms of marketing, some people might get even more excited if you made 42 million of them. But again, that is just something I just thought of off the top of my head. I'm definitely not saying to do that. So let's keep it simple. Give it to all Bitcoin holders and Z Classic holders, and to the moon for it. We want it to go to the moon. And I am excited for it. It is the one I am most excited for because it has a use case and it's very unique. And if they really mess around with the SegWit thing too much, then I will lose some of my excitement. That's not that, and a lot of people will. So there you go again, Rhett. There's Adam's marketing advice. What else do we have? We talked about the United States of Bitcoin. Okay, the B. Again, my poll, I talked about my Brhodium, and I love the Brhodium, what they're doing over there too. Again, I'm not as bullish as Andy is. I just, free is free to me. $15 I'd be happy with. But great. I mean, some of this, there are some interesting signs I'm getting from the Brhodium, the excitement that all of you have sent back to me, the vibe you guys have given to me about Brhodium has made me think that, yeah, man, this thing, I might have undervalued this thing. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so yeah, the event that I will be speaking at, World Crypto Economic Forum, South San Francisco Conference Center, 20% discount code, DisruptMeister20. I'm speaking on the 15th there. The 15th, it is linked to below where you can get your discount code, South San Francisco Conference Center. Vinny Lingham's also speaking there. I don't know what day he's speaking there. It'll be a fun time. Pound that like button, everybody. That's it. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Do check out the notes section below. I'll see you later. Bye.